Hey there. So, you've been really curious about what's going on in European academia,
Yeah.
and you sent over this fascinating research paper by Mary Cook and Dominic Antonowicz.
Hmm.
It's called Academic Work, Working Conditions, and Job Satisfaction. It's from 2013.
Huh.
It was part of a larger project studying academics across Europe.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this paper is like a snapshot in time, giving us a glimpse into how academics in 12 different European countries viewed their work, their resources, and their overall job satisfaction back in 2013.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating time capsule,
Right.
for sure.
So one of the first things that jumped out at me was how satisfied European academics were with their facilities.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Classrooms, technology, libraries, all of that.
Okay.
They all got pretty good marks.
So what's the catch?
Well, there was one glaring issue: research funding.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, the paper really highlights this dissatisfaction.
I mean, it makes sense given the increasing pressure on academics to secure external funding, right? This was a trend even back then in 2013, and it's likely intensified since.
Totally. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But here's the interesting thing. One country really stood out as bucking this trend:
Okay.
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
Their academics reported being quite happy with the research funding available to them.
Wow, so what's their secret? What are they doing differently?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right?
I know, right? Like, are their government policies just more supportive?
Right.
Or is there like a cultural difference in how they value research over there?
Yeah,
Unraveling that Swiss secret could be really valuable for other countries.
for sure. Now, the paper also delves into workload and time allocation.
Okay.
And it turns out academics in Ireland, Italy, and Poland have the longest work weeks when classes are in session.
Oh, wow.
Over 40 hours on average.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what's even more interesting to me is how differently countries balance teaching and research hours?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, some, like Switzerland and Norway, keep research a top priority, even during the teaching semesters.
While places like Portugal and the Netherlands seem to focus more on teaching during those periods.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It really highlights how the structure of academia itself varies across these different countries.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we even see this difference in priorities play out with junior academics, too.
Oh, how so?
Well, in some countries, junior academics are actually spending more time on research than their senior colleagues.
Huh. Why do you think that is?
It's an interesting finding, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Maybe it's the pressure to publish early and build a strong research profile to get those permanent positions.
Right.
Or maybe some institutions have policies that encourage or even require this intense research focus for junior faculty.
I see.
Makes you wonder about the long-term implications,
Yeah.
both for those individual academics and for the overall balance of teaching and research.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, even with those long hours and funding woes,
Yeah.
the paper found that most European academics were actually pretty satisfied with their jobs.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah,
But it also kind of suggests that there are other factors at play beyond just money and resources, you know?
right.
Things like intellectual freedom and autonomy, the opportunity to dive into research you're passionate about. Like,
Yeah,
those things have real value for a lot of people in academia.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not a universal experience.
Right.
The UK, for instance, had the lowest levels of job satisfaction,
Hmm.
while Switzerland, the Netherlands, and Italy reported the highest.
So it kind of makes you wonder if those countries are onto something with their approach to academia.
Right.
Yeah.
It really makes you think.
Hmm.
There was this one statistic from the UK that really gave me pause.
What was that?
A significant number of academics said that they wouldn't choose this profession again if they had the chance.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty sobering.
It really underscores the pressures and challenges inherent in academia, particularly in systems like the UK where funding is scarce and competition is fierce.
It begs the question, what can be done to make academia a more sustainable and fulfilling career path, you know?
Right. It's a complex issue with no easy answers,
For sure.
but definitely something worth pondering.
Absolutely.
Speaking of things worth pondering,
Okay.
let's talk about the role of income in all of this.
Yes, the money question.
Always relevant, right?
Always.
And the paper found that in these high-income European countries, the link between income and job satisfaction wasn't as strong as you might expect.
Interesting.
It seems that once basic needs are met, other factors become more important.
Yeah, things like intellectual stimulation,
Right.
autonomy, the
Yeah.
feeling that you're contributing to something meaningful,
Yeah.
those become powerful motivators.
So it's not just about the paycheck.
Right.
It's about finding fulfillment in the work itself. Now, there was one interesting finding related to income that I found curious.
Oh.
Academics at institutions outside of traditional universities often had higher incomes.
That is surprising.
Yeah. What could explain that difference?
That's a really good question.
Right. Maybe the nature of the work is different. Maybe the funding sources are different. Or even the institutional structures themselves differ in ways that influence salary levels.
Right. It could be so many things.
Yeah, it really highlights the diversity within academia itself, right?
For
First,
sure.
not a monolithic entity.
Definitely not.
And there's a lot we can learn from those variations.
Absolutely.
Now, let's move into the more complex world of academic governance and how decisions are made.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Are you ready to navigate this bureaucratic maze?
Let's do it. I'm always up for a challenge.
Okay, so the paper digs into different models of higher education systems across Europe
Okay.
and how they impact who gets to make decisions.
I see.
For example, some countries have a more centralized system where decisions are made at the national level, which creates more consistency, but potentially stifles innovation at the local level,
That makes sense.
while others take a more decentralized approach,
Yeah.
giving individual institutions more freedom to adapt.
Okay.
But that could potentially lead to greater inequality across different institutions.
That's interesting.
The classic dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Finding that right balance between control and autonomy,
For sure.
between ensuring quality and fostering innovation.
Totally.
This paper shows how that balance is always in flux, influenced by politics, economics, and even cultural values.
Absolutely. It's a constant push and pull.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a good reminder that higher education is not this static entity, right?
Right.
It's constantly evolving, responding to internal and external pressures.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, let's zoom in on one specific aspect of governance that's particularly relevant.
Okay.
The role of faculty in decision-making.
Yeah. How much influence do they really have?
Right. How much say do they have over the direction of their institutions?
It's a question that's close to the heart of many academics, I'd say.
Totally. And this paper reveals that this level of faculty involvement varies wildly across these different countries.
Really?
From having a major say in things like curriculum and hiring decisions to having very limited influence.
Wow, that's quite a range.
Yeah, it really is.
And that difference in faculty involvement can be crucial.
Right.
You know, when faculty feel like their voices are heard and valued, they're more likely to be engaged and committed to their institutions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when they feel powerless or marginalized, it can lead to frustration,
Right.
disengagement, and even a desire to leave academia altogether.
Yeah, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy almost.
Right, and this brings us back full circle to our earlier discussion about job satisfaction.
Yeah, I see that.
It's not just about funding and workload.
Yeah.
It's about feeling like you're part of a community where your contributions actually matter.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's about feeling empowered to shape the future of your institution and your profession.
Absolutely. That makes a huge difference.
Now, let's shift gears a bit and explore how broader societal changes are impacting the academic landscape.
Okay. I'm interested to hear this.
You know, things like globalization, technology, and evolving expectations. These are all reshaping what it means to be an academic today.
For sure. The world is changing so fast.
Yeah, and the paper highlights how globalization has intensified competition between universities worldwide.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a global marketplace now
It is.
for students, faculty, and research funding.
Yeah, you're competing with everyone, everywhere.
Exactly. And this heightened competition puts more pressure on academics to publish, to secure grants, and to demonstrate the real-world impact of their work.
It's that publish or perish mentality we were talking about earlier. Yeah, which can be motivating but also incredibly stressful.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have technology that's transforming how academics teach, research, and communicate their findings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Online learning, digital publishing, new forms of scholarly communication.
All changing the game.
Yeah.
Right?
It's exciting and challenging at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
These new tools offer incredible opportunities, but also require academics to constantly adapt and learn new skills.
For sure. You got to keep up with the times.
And then there's the growing emphasis on interdisciplinary research and collaboration,
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
which is a positive development in many ways.
Yeah.
You know, complex problems often require insights from multiple disciplines.
It's about breaking down those traditional silos.
Right.
Yeah, and fostering a more interconnected academic landscape.
Exactly. But this shift towards interdisciplinarity can also create its own challenges.
Right.
It requires academics to step outside their comfort zones, to learn new ways of thinking and working, and to navigate different disciplinary cultures, which can be tricky.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The impact of neoliberalism on academia.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah,
A topic that sparks a lot of debate and strong opinions.
for sure. And this paper doesn't shy away from it.
Okay.
It acknowledges the influence of neoliberal ideologies on higher education policy and practice,
Mm-hmm.
particularly the focus on market-driven approaches, accountability, and performance measurement.
Right. All about those metrics.
And it explores how these trends impact academic freedom, job security, and the overall culture of academia.
Interesting.
For example, the rise of performance-based funding models
Yeah.
can push academics to prioritize research that's considered valuable by external metrics, potentially stifling creativity and narrowing research agendas.
Right, so it's not just about what you're interested in, it's about what gets funded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the emphasis on accountability can lead to increased bureaucracy and administrative burdens.
Oh, yeah, for sure. More paperwork.
Right.
Less time for actual research.
Yeah. It's exactly taking valuable time and resources away from teaching and research.
It's a real problem.
Yeah. And the paper raises concerns about the potential downsides of these neoliberal trends.
Okay.
It argues that they can erode the core values of intellectual freedom, critical inquiry, and the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake.
So it's not just about efficiency and productivity.
No, it's about something more fundamental.
Yeah.
It's about the heart of what academia is all about.
Right, the love of learning, the pursuit of truth.
Yeah, and the paper encourages academics to be aware of these trends and to critically engage with them.
I think that's important.
It's about defending the values of academia and advocating for policies that support a thriving and intellectually vibrant higher education sector.
Absolutely. We need to fight for what we believe in.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to touch on a crucial aspect of academic life that's often overlooked:
What's that?
work-life balance.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. Especially in a profession that can be so demanding and all-consuming.
Exactly. And the paper acknowledges the struggles academics face in maintaining a healthy work-life balance.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Those long hours,
Right.
the constant pressure to publish,
The endless emails.
the endless demands,
I have a lot.
they can make it hard to find time for personal life, family, and leisure.
Yeah, you can get burned out pretty easily.
Right. And this can lead to burnout,
Absolutely.
stress, and even health issues.
It's a recipe for disaster if not managed carefully.
And the paper emphasizes the need for institutional policies and practices that support work-life balance.
Okay, like what kinds of things?
Things like flexible work arrangements, childcare support,
Yeah,
and a culture that values taking breaks and disconnecting from work.
I think that's so important.
It's about recognizing that academics are human beings with lives and responsibilities outside of their work,
Yeah, we're not robots.
and that supporting their well-being is crucial for both individual and institutional success.
That makes everyone more productive in the long run.
Right. It's about creating a more sustainable and humane academic culture that values both excellence and well-being.
I love that.
Yeah, and this paper provides a lot of food for thought on that front.
For sure.
It highlights the importance of creating an academic environment that is not only intellectually stimulating, but also supportive and conducive to a fulfilling life.
Yeah, I think that's key.
And that segues perfectly into our next segment,
Okay.
where we'll delve into the specific challenges and opportunities faced by early career academics in Europe.
Sounds good. I'm ready for part 2.
Great. Let's take a quick break and then we'll dive right in.
All right, so we've painted this broad picture of European academia, but now let's zoom in on a specific group,
Okay.
those just starting out their academic journeys.
You're talking about early career academics.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a time of so much potential, but also such unique challenges. And I think this paper really captures that.
Oh, absolutely. It highlights both the excitement and anxieties that come with those early years in academia.
For sure.
And one of the biggest anxieties,
What's that?
job security, or rather the lack thereof.
Oh, right. The paper found that short-term contracts and precarious employment are incredibly common for early career academics across Europe.
It's like this constant game of academic musical chairs.
Oh,
You know, these young academics are hopping from one temporary position to another
Yeah.
with no guarantee of stability.
It must be incredibly stressful,
Oh, absolutely.
trying to build a career and a life when You don't know where you'll be or what you'll be doing in a few months.
Imagine trying to, like, plan for the future,
Right.
buy a house, start a family,
Mm.
all while facing this constant uncertainty.
Yeah.
It's no wonder so many early career academics end up feeling disillusioned.
And it's not just about personal stress, right?
Mm.
This reliance on short-term contracts can actually hinder research, too.
Oh, absolutely.
How can you commit to these long-term projects or take intellectual risks when you don't even know if you'll have a job next year?
It's a system that often rewards quick results in publications
Right.
over in-depth long-term research,
Yeah.
which is a loss for everyone,
I
really.
totally agree. It's like sacrificing the potential for groundbreaking discoveries for the sake of short-term metrics.
Exactly. The paper argues that this reliance on short-term contracts is not only harmful to the individual academics, but to the academic profession as a whole.
Now, on top of the job insecurity, there's that ever-present pressure to publish.
Oh, tell me about it.
We touched on this publish or perish culture earlier,
Yeah.
but for early career academics, it can feel even more intense.
Oh, absolutely. Those early publications are often seen as a ticket to the next job, the next grant, the next step on that academic ladder.
So young academics feel like they have to churn out articles and books as quickly as possible, even if it means sacrificing quality for quantity.
Exactly. And this can lead to a culture of what we call salami slicing.
Salami slicing? What's that?
It's where researchers, they divide their work into these smaller, less impactful publications just to boost their publication count.
It's like we're valuing quantity over quality, and in the process, we're losing sight of the real purpose of research, which is to advance knowledge and understanding.
Right, exactly. The paper suggests that we need to rethink how we measure academic productivity.
Yeah.
Instead of just focusing on the number of publications, we should prioritize the quality, the rigor, and the impact of the research.
I couldn't agree more. Now, let's talk about the support systems available to these early career academics.
Okay.
The paper highlights the importance of mentoring,
Yeah.
having more experienced faculty to guide those just starting out.
Mentoring can be so valuable. It's
No.
about having someone to talk to, to bounce ideas off of, to get advice from, and
Yeah.
to help you navigate this often very confusing world of academia.
It's like having a guide through the academic jungle.
Exactly.
But the paper also points out that access to quality mentoring can be really inconsistent.
Oh, for sure. Some young academics are lucky enough to, land in departments with strong mentoring programs or connect with supportive senior faculty who take the time to guide them. But others, well, they find themselves in environments where mentoring is an afterthought
Right.
or where senior faculty are just too overwhelmed to offer meaningful guidance.
Yeah, it creates an uneven playing field.
Absolutely.
And it really highlights the need for institutions to prioritize mentoring programs
Yeah.
that ensure all early career academics have access to the support they need to thrive.
Investing in mentorship is investing in the future of academia.
Totally agree. Now, despite all the challenges, the paper doesn't paint a totally bleak picture.
Oh, good.
It also highlights some exciting opportunities for early career academics in Europe.
Okay, what kind of opportunities?
Well, for example, there's been a growing emphasis on international collaboration and mobility.
Oh.
A lot of European funding programs encourage and sometimes even require young academics to spend time abroad working with researchers in other countries.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
Right. It's an amazing opportunity to broaden your horizons,
Yeah.
to be exposed to new ideas and approaches, to build these international networks,
For sure.
and to experience different research cultures.
It's like a global academic adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it can really benefit those young academics throughout their careers.
absolutely.
Another trend highlighted in the paper is the rise of interdisciplinary research initiatives and centers.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about those.
These centers create spaces for young academics from different disciplines to come together to share their expertise and to tackle complex problems from multiple perspectives.
It's breaking down those disciplinary silos
Yeah.
and fostering a more collaborative and interconnected approach to knowledge creation.
It's like a melting pot of ideas, a
Right.
place where new connections are made
Yeah,
and new possibilities emerge.
I love that.
And then there are opportunities for early career academics to get involved in teaching and pedagogy.
Oh, yeah, teaching.
Too often it's seen as a secondary responsibility,
Right.
something that gets squeezed in between research and administrative tasks.
It can be tough to balance everything.
Yeah, But teaching can be incredibly rewarding, both personally and professionally.
Oh, for sure.
It's about inspiring the next generation of thinkers and scholars.
It's a privilege to be able to do that.
And many European universities are now recognizing the value of teaching
Okay, how so?
by offering specialized training and professional development programs for young academics who are passionate about pedagogy.
That's great.
These programs equip young academics with the tools and strategies they need to be effective and engaging educators.
So it's not just about being thrown into the classroom and hoping for the best.
No, it's about giving them the support they need to succeed.
I like that.
It's about empowering them to shape the future of teaching and learning in higher education.
That's a powerful thought.
So we've talked about the challenges and the opportunities, but what does all this mean for the future of academia in Europe?
That's the big question, isn't it? The paper acknowledges that the academic profession is at a crossroads,
Yeah.
facing all these pressures that are forcing it to adapt and evolve.
One of the key challenges it identifies is the need to bridge the gap between academia and society.
Oh, that's an important one.
For too long, there's been this perception of academia as this ivory tower,
Right.
detached from the real world.
Out of touch.
But that perception is changing, right?
I hope so.
There's this growing awareness that universities have a responsibility to engage with the communities they serve, to share their knowledge and expertise,
Yeah.
and to contribute to solving real-world problems.
It's about making academic research more accessible and
Right.
relevant to a wider audience.
It's about showing the value of what academics do and demonstrating how their work can actually make a difference in the world.
Absolutely. We need to do a better job of communicating that.
Another critical issue highlighted in the paper is the need for greater diversity and inclusion in academia.
Yeah, that's crucial.
While progress has been made, academia still has a long way to go to become truly representative of the societies it serves.
Right. It's about creating a more welcoming and inclusive environment for
Yeah.
scholars from all backgrounds, regardless of gender, race, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that diverse perspectives enrich the academic enterprise and lead to more innovative and impactful research.
Diversity of thought, diversity of experience, it all contributes to a richer and more vibrant intellectual community.
And it's about creating a more just and equitable academic system where everyone has the opportunity to succeed.
Absolutely. A diverse and inclusive academic community is a stronger academic community.
The paper also emphasizes the need to foster a culture of collaboration and interdisciplinarity.
Yeah, we touched on this earlier, but it's worth reiterating. The world's most pressing problems, climate change, poverty, inequality, they often require perspectives from multiple disciplines.
Right. No single discipline holds all the answers.
Exactly. So academia needs to break down those disciplinary silos
Yeah.
and encourage collaboration across fields.
It's about creating structures and incentives that reward interdisciplinary work and providing opportunities for scholars from different backgrounds to come together and share their expertise.
It's about creating a more interconnected and dynamic academic landscape
Right.
where new ideas can flourish.
And of course, we can't forget about the role of technology in shaping the future of academia.
Oh yeah, technology is transforming everything.
Right. About how academics teach, research, and communicate.
For sure, it's changing the game.
Online learning platforms are expanding access to higher education. Digital publishing is changing the way scholarship is disseminated.
Right.
And new research tools are enabling academics to analyze data and collaborate in ways that were never possible before.
It's an exciting time to be an academic.
It is.
But it's also a time of uncertainty,
Yeah.
as we navigate this rapidly evolving technological landscape.
And the paper encourages academics to embrace these changes,
Yeah.
to experiment with new tools and approaches, and to be open to new ways of thinking about their work.
It's about adapting to the changing landscape of higher education and harnessing the power of technology to advance knowledge and make a positive impact on the world.
Now, before we wrap up this segment, I want to circle back to a topic we discussed earlier,
Okay.
academic freedom.
Ah, yes, a fundamental principle.
The paper argues that academic freedom is crucial
It is.
for fostering critical inquiry, promoting the free exchange of ideas,
Right.
and ensuring that universities can fulfill their role as independent centers of knowledge creation and dissemination.
It's the bedrock of everything we do.
But academic freedom is under threat in many parts of the world.
Sadly, yes, we see this happening more and more.
Governments, corporations, even university administrators, they're increasingly trying to control what academics can teach, research, and publish.
It's a dangerous trend
Is.
that we need to resist.
Absolutely. And the paper calls for a renewed commitment to defending academic freedom, both within universities and in society at large.
I think that's so important.
It's about protecting the space for critical thinking, dissent, and the pursuit of truth, however uncomfortable that truth may be.
Without academic freedom, the very foundation of academia crumbles.
This has been a fascinating and thought-provoking exploration of the academic landscape in Europe.
I agree. This paper, while offering a glimpse into the past, it raises all these important questions about the future of the academic profession as a whole.
But we've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, there's so much more to delve into.
And that brings us to our final segment,
Okay.
where we'll step back and consider what this deep dive means for you, the listener.
I'm excited to hear what they have to say.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground in our exploration of European academia, from research funding and workloads to the evolving nature of academic work itself.
It's been quite the journey.
Yeah, we've journeyed through those complexities of academic governance. We delved into those challenges and opportunities facing early career academics, and we considered the forces shaping the future of higher education.
Definitely a lot to unpack.
But now it's time to kind of bring it all home. What's this deep dive mean for you? What resonated with you the most?
I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Was there anything that surprised you or challenged your assumptions about academia?
Well, one thing that really struck me was that tension between the ideals of academia and the realities of the modern academic workplace.
Oh, yeah, that's a tension that runs through this entire paper.
Right.
On the one hand, there's this deep commitment to academic freedom, to the pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, the importance of critical inquiry.
Yeah, those are the values that have always drawn people to academia, the values that make it such a unique and vital profession.
Right. But on the other hand, there are these mounting pressures for accountability, for measurable outcomes, for market-driven approaches.
It's like academia is being squeezed from both sides,
Yeah.
trying to hold on to its core values while also adapting to a rapidly changing world.
It's about finding that balance.
Right.
If we lose sight of those core values, we risk turning academia into just another cog in the economic machine.
But if we fail to adapt and evolve, we risk becoming irrelevant and out of touch with the needs of society.
It's a delicate dance.
Yeah.
And this paper really highlights the complexities of that balancing act.
I'm curious, what were your thoughts on the variations in job satisfaction we saw across different European countries?
Oh, it's such a powerful reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all model for higher education. Different countries have different priorities, different funding structures, different cultural contexts.
Yeah, and those differences have a real impact on the lives and careers of academics.
For sure. The paper suggests that systems that prioritize research funding, that offer more stable employment, and promote a healthy work-life balance tend to have higher levels of job satisfaction.
Which makes perfect sense. When academics feel supported and valued, when they have the resources they need to do their best work, and when they can find that balance between their professional and personal lives, they're more likely to be happy and fulfilled.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, but sometimes those simple truths get lost in the complexities of academic life.
Bringing it back to you, the listener, how do these findings resonate with your own experiences or aspirations? Whether you're a student considering an academic career, a seasoned professor, or simply someone who's interested in the state of higher education, I think this deep dive offers some valuable insights.
If you're thinking about a career in academia, it's so crucial to be aware of both the challenges and the opportunities that lie ahead.
Do your research, talk to people in the field, and really consider if the academic lifestyle aligns with your values and goals.
Yeah, and if you're already in academia, remember that you have a voice and a role to play in shaping the future of your profession.
Support your colleagues, mentor younger academics, and advocate for policies that support a thriving and intellectually vibrant academic community.
Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo and to fight for the values that matter most to you.
Because the future of academia depends on the passion, commitment, and courage of those who believe in its power to make a difference in the world.
Well said.
Before we wrap up completely, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
This paper was published in 2013. Since then, the higher education landscape has continued to evolve at an incredibly rapid pace.
Technology has advanced, global competition has intensified, and new challenges have emerged.
So the question I want to leave you with is this. How might the findings of this paper have changed in the intervening years? Have the challenges become more acute? Have new opportunities emerged? How has the academic profession adapted? And what lessons can we learn from these ongoing transformations?
Those are questions worth pondering as we continue to navigate this ever-changing world of higher education.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of knowledge.
And never stop learning and growing, both as individuals and as a community of scholars.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into European academia. We hope you found it insightful, engaging, and thought-provoking.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time.